Hi everyone, Burke here from Vancis Capital, joined alongside Mr. Sandeep, our COO from our Dubai office. Mr. Sandeep, as you know, there has been a lot of commotion lately in the Caribbean. I would like your thoughts on some of the latest happenings in the region.
Yeah, sure, Burke. Thank you for asking that question. And hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be on this Zoom call. Yes, recently there has been a lot of things happening in the Caribbean within the CBI jurisdictions. Now, most of this has to do with the European Union and their kind of stance on citizenship by investment in general. When these programs were launched, and St. Kitts launched it back in 1984, so almost 40 years ago, the idea behind these programs was to supplement the economies of all these jurisdictions with enough money so that they could potentially develop their economy and their infrastructure. And for a very long time, that's how the programs were structured. But post-pandemic, there has been significant increase in the number of people that are interested in these kinds of programs. And unfortunately, that has meant that there has been certain cases where people have been resorting to kind of discounts, or essentially kind of paying not the exact same amount of money that the government requires them to pay to get citizenship. This is an open secret, and a lot of people know about this, but of course all the Caribbean jurisdictions are not happy about this and they want to change it. Now the European Union has said that, look, if you are going to have high net worth, high income individuals get passports in your countries, we would like you to set that minimum threshold for them to get citizenship at least $200,000 for a single applicant, and then upwards for a family. St. Kitts was the first to take action on this. They've always been the gold standard of citizenship by investment, and back in late 2023, they decided to cancel the SGF, or the Sustainable Growth Fund program, and then launch the Sustainable Island State Contribution program, where the minimum investment requirement for a single applicant would be $250,000 and above. As we were only expecting that it's a matter of time before everybody else joins, and that's what we've seen last month, where Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, and Dominica have signed a Memorandum of Understanding saying that they're all going to increase that minimum threshold to $200,000, which is going to happen in June this year. But outside of that, there are other significant things in that MoU, and one of them is the sharing of information. More often than not, one of these jurisdictions would not know what the other jurisdiction is doing in terms of processing citizenship applications. And that's quite critical, because when you look at the CARICOM, or the Caribbean community, where most of these countries are sharing, pretty much do not have borders. So you, as a St. Lucian citizen, for example, you could live freely in Bahamas or Antigua, and vice versa. So it is important for them to share this information, and I think they have decided that they're going to have a joint kind of like a certain governmental body that is going to share information across these programs. So this is the main update that's happened. St. Lucia has not signed this agreement, but we do expect that they will sign it at some point of time very soon. So yeah, that's the update.
Thank you. So we can infer upon this as the Caribbean programs are strengthening as time goes by, and they're being more transparent and looking to satisfy some of the requirements of some of these larger nations, such as the US, Canada, the UK, and the Schengen zone.
Absolutely. I think what adds value to these programs is that they keep expanding the reach that their citizens have with their passports. This is really important. Outside of purely the tax benefits and things, a lot of people do obtain these passports so that they can travel visa-free, and they can enjoy some of those benefits. So with countries moving towards these kinds of MOUs and showing more transparency to the bigger jurisdictions of the world, what they're basically trying to do is also inform these countries that, look, they are transparent, they are doing the best that they can to make sure that everybody's in the know of what is happening within these programs. And therefore, I expect to see that as time goes by, these passports are going to improve in terms of their passport strength. And also, in general, I think it's a good direction for the industry as a whole to take, because, of course, it doesn't just stop with getting a passport. All these countries want applicants to visit these countries, do further investments into these countries as their citizens, and kind of take benefit of the country's tax laws, take benefit of the fact that these countries have significant requirements in terms of market growth, and then invest into those countries and make those countries prosper. And I think by attracting people that have a higher income and a higher net worth, I think they're kind of going in that direction of not only ensuring that people just get passports, that they actually become citizens of these countries in every respect.
So Sandeep, something that caught my attention personally was that in the MOU signed by these nations, these Caribbean islands, one of them pointed out that visa-free travel and pictures of passports are not going to be able to be marketed any longer. How do you see this development, and what does it mean for the industry as a whole?
I think it's a positive step in that there has been too much commodification of these programs, frankly. Yeah, it's come to a state where there are people out there that think that, look, I'm just going to pay some money and I'm going to get a passport. It doesn't happen that way. Making investments into these countries gives you the opportunity to apply for citizenship. And this is something that people don't understand, and that small distinction is that it doesn't give you an automatic pass to just get citizenship. It is the chance to apply for citizenship in these countries. And by removing the passports from the equation when it comes to marketing and from a visual perspective, I think it would make the average client less likely to be misguided into thinking that this is a commodity that they can purchase. I think some of the messaging around citizenship by investment must be more structured and make people understand that yes, essentially you are making a contribution to these countries or making a real estate investment in these countries. However, it doesn't stop with you just getting that passport and that's the end of the road when it comes to the connection between you and the country. There must be significantly more connection between the two between the country and the person in order to truly kind of and capture the essence of what this program must be marketed as. In terms of visa-free travel, yes, I think what happens is that clients that have been rejected in some of these jurisdictions like the UK or Europe or Canada, for example, then kind of think of these passports as a way to kind of circumvent that rejection, which is not the case. So for all the citizenship by investment programs, a visa rejection in any of the countries that the passport has visa-free access to is an automatic cause for rejection at the due diligence stage. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand. And unfortunately, there are companies out there that will exploit that fact and still tell people that yes, it is possible for you to get citizenship. But the truth is, it is not possible. If you were rejected for a visa in any country that the passport that you're trying to apply for has visa-free access to, you are automatically disqualified. And I think by removing that whole visa-free access list, I think it brings the conversation back to the core of what you're trying to do. This is not a free pass to just do whatever you want, but it is truly applying for a very serious thing, and that is citizenship in another country, and you must take it with that level of respect and seriousness.
Yes, I see. So overall, I would say these developments are very positive on the sustainability of these programs for the long term, for the coming decades, and for these Caribbean nations to thrive.
Yes, 100%. Keep in mind that some of these jurisdictions gain a huge portion of their annual income as a country comes from these programs. And therefore, to jeopardize it in any way would be really, really difficult, a bit difficult position for these countries to be in. I think these are all paths towards, in the positive direction. I think that there is a time that there's a bit of a reset in the industry and clients start looking at these programs again as not being commodities, but serious things that they need to apply for and to apply with the seriousness that they're intended to be at. And all these are movements in that direction. As you know, earlier this year, the interview process was set up, which all the Caribbean jurisdictions are now following, that there must be an interview process. And not performing well in the interview can be a cause for rejection. So all these are steps that they are taking slowly and steadily towards perhaps bringing their due diligence and bringing their system of looking at clients and approving clients in line with some of the bigger countries like the United States or Canada or Europe, and making sure that they are only accepting the best clients with the best of intentions, essentially.
Thank you, Sandeep, for your time and your thoughts on the developments coming out of the Caribbean. And we hope to have another discussion very soon and get your thoughts on some other issues concerning citizenship by investment and residency by investment.
Thank you so much for your time, Burke. It was a pleasure as always.